Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm on location here at Angels Pass Memorial Park, and I feel this would be a nice way to conclude the past year and a half series of photography trips that I've been pretty much taking pretty much on a weekly basis, honestly. Anyway, park my bike here. All right. So, I've been doing these kind of video vlogs or whatever. As some of you may know, the handful of you that do watch them, or at least have followed me pretty much from the beginning, or even if you join halfway through, that I've been doing these little vlogs. And essentially the idea was to document as many different locations here in Southwest Ohio of different places that I've been to, and doing basically exploring places that are new to me, and both more familiar places that I've been to many times. And so I'm very fortunate that I could travel as much as I have over that period of time, and to finally, just check all these different places, learn about the natural history, the ecology, and of course take some beautiful nature photography of these locations and the different scenic features they may find in them. So I've been really fortunate to have really quite all that happen. And one thing I've been really just eager to really end at least the series as it is now is to just come back to a place that's a little more familiar to me. And so what I did here is I went to pretty much a place where it all started, honestly. This Angels Pass about 4 years ago, from the time of this video. It was February 2016, and I took a little photograph, just an easy little photograph of some candy geese. And it's funny because as I pull up, there's like about four of them, there's four of them, two pairs over there, just feeding here. So it's pretty common just because it's a small lake, and it's a beautiful little scenic feature that's here in my hometown. And so I took a little simple photograph of it was cold early morning. It was bright and sunny. Not really the most attractive lighting, as I know now, but I took it with simple little portrait of them, just a single one at least, isolated, just in the water. And it was a very nice minimalist kind of photograph there. One I still enjoy, mainly for sentimental reasons, not really the technicalities of it per se, but it's an image that I'm still really happy with, more so just for how it really just kind of, in a way, I guess you could say, springboarded my career, or at least in essence inspired me and motivated me to really set out on this path and this journey of pretty much becoming a nature photographer like I am now, and something that I'm continually practicing and improving upon like I am. And so I took that simple photograph, and it actually landed up in the local newspaper. It wasn't a paid feature, it wasn't any kind of big photojournalistic deal really at all, but it was a nice little, just kind of a little head nod to, and it credited my name and where my hometown was. And yeah, it was just a nice little way of just kind of showing the local, or what you call it, the local, just local photos that people take, essentially. And that was pretty much the end result of that. So I just simply submitted that photo. First I took it here, and then soon after, a week or two later, I just was like, hey, why not? I saw it. They wanted some local town scene photos that are wanted in the local paper, and so I was like, sure, why not? And so yeah, I submitted that photo, and it actually ended up in there about a month or so later. It took a little while, but newspapers, but it's okay. And then that kind of just really inspired me. Really, it kind of just made me look to the possibilities of becoming kind of like a published nature kind of wildlife photographer, and it got me really thinking of how to pursue that as perhaps a full-time career, which I'm still obviously on the path of, in some sorts, trying to be a full-time professional creative and photographer. But and so going back to what I'm saying here, with this on location series, that's just a little kind of, I guess, brief synopsis of kind of really how I got my start. My first kind of unofficial, like I said, wasn't paid, but nice little kind of published photo feature there, which I'm still look forward to. I look at to this day. I have it hanging in my bedroom wall, that I like to look at every now and then. The actual tear sheet from the newspaper itself, that a few years ago or whatever from now. So anyways, I decided to come back to this location. Just a nice way to conclude the series. It was something I was anticipating and planning on doing, ending the on location series by coming back to here. A place that's very close to home, as you can tell, since I rode my bike here and all that. And just a nice little, not really here, like I said, to really photograph anything in particular, although it is a very picturesque, beautiful sunset right behind me as it's creeping lower and lower beyond the horizon. But I might just, with the remaining daylight, which isn't much, I might just walk around, you know, take a little wander, see if there's any kind of quick little photographs or snapshots I can take. I'm not really here to make anything groundbreaking, but it's just a nice little way to really just say thanks to the location itself, and just to, you know, obviously document and share with you, of course. But yeah, just to kind of share why this place means so much to me, and why it's so, you know, just a nice little place I like to visit every time and now and again, whether I do any kind of real photography with it or not, or if I'm just here to, you know, just kind of relax, since it does have some nice little benches that are kind of surrounding the whole entire this little small pond here. But man, that is a beautiful sunset though, so I don't know. I brought minimal gear. I simply just got a day pack over here, just a nice little Osprey day pack, but I did bring a camera and a lens. This is one of each. And the kind of funny part is I actually brought the exact same lens that I used to take that Canada Goose photo. It's a 75-300 telephoto lens here, and I cannot do this with one hand, so I'll be right back. Now, so yeah, it was a different camera body from what it was then, but yeah, this was 75-300 telephoto lens, small telephoto, and this is what I used to take that little Canada Goose photo. So I thought it was a nice little way to kind of just, you know, go full circle really. I'd come back here with that same lens and just see if my eye has been trained. I'd like to think so, and I'd like to think my photos and the work, you know, it's kind of got more sophisticated over those 4 years. Lots of time to develop and mature my kind of photographic style and whatnot. But yeah, just come back and just mess around with this lens and see what we can come up with the remaining daylight here, which isn't much, but we will see. So yeah, I'll get back to you, and then we'll say our parting words for the series here and the location. Alright, so the first thing that really caught my eye, and at least was something that was simply photographable, was just simply doing a little poolside or pond reflection here. So small telephoto actually works pretty well for this case, and then I simply had about 320th of a second, f11 and ISO 800, using the one shot. Just I simply lock on focus there, single shooting, and then as you can tell from the exposure meter, wait, there we go. I pointed up. It made a nice even exposure, and let me show you the results here. This is straight out of camera, a full-size raw file, and so it worked out pretty well. Here's some different ones. This one includes more of the bluish tints. That first one I just showed you include more of the orange, the golden hour light from those nice backlit clouds there. So very nice. Just a nice little thing as I simply sat here on this pretty familiar bench that I've sat on many times before during bike rides. And I actually forgot to mention, but when I came here to make that, I guess you call it famous, at least to me, Canada Goose photo, at least well known, I actually rode my bike here that time too. So like I said, this place is really local to where I live, and I just figured it'd make more sense to not so much copy the past, but kind of, in a sense, honor it to what I've kind of accomplished in that amount of time, these several years here. So, and now I'm actually looking at behind my little my video camera here. I'm really noticing these reflections in the trees. So I'm really liking. I don't really like the backdrop with just the buildings and the, you know, artificial lighting, but I mean, it does look very nice on its own. See how those 4 Canada Goose are? They're kind of over here. I could take another Canada Goose photo just to make a throwback, but which I might do that actually in a moment here. But actually, over here is a nice little kind of
open woodlot all the way down there, and the entrance is kind of right over kind of where that little shelter is. So might quickly go over there while I still have some daylight. But first, let me try and see if I can get near these Canada goose. There's species by now in those 4 years time I've photographed to death, not literally, but just I've done so many different poses, angles, portraits, including the landscape, not including the landscape, isolating the subject, yada yada yada, different habitats, different seasons, different locations, different kinds of just everything. The goslings, the parents. Anyways, you get the point. But done Canada goose photos here, and so do I really need another one in my portfolio? Heck, let's do it. All right, so obviously, like that one portrait I've been referring to a million times now, I had it at a 300 millimeter range, the maximum for this telephoto lens, and they're all the way over there. Let me see if I can creep towards them. The lack of time really doesn't help, but I don't know how well this is going to turn out. We can try. It might be a nice little, obviously it's not going to be some really big up close portrait like I would with my 600 mil telephoto lens, but I can definitely creep up to them, especially on this concrete path, considering most Canada geese are habituated to humans just being around them, especially at community parks such as this one, Angels Pass. All right, I'm going to see if I can take a photo now. Here we go. Alright, so that actually worked out pretty decently. It's just another Canada goose portrait that I now have in my portfolio, I guess. If I so inclined to include it. I don't think I will, though. It's just a nice little documentation shot for the day. Like I said, I'm just trying to enjoy my day out, essentially. I'm not trying to force any kind of really creative, I don't want there to be, I don't want there to be any kind of added pressure to really produce, top-notch portfolio keeper photos, at least for this visit. I'm just trying to simply enjoy my day out just like I did on that day 4 years ago, and just remember what it was that really made me kind of just inspired really to take up photography like I have, and to just, be really, really into it, really passionate into it. So I'm really glad to get some photos of those geese there. And they turn out decent, at least here for the video. So anyways, behind me here is this little kind of walkway. Like I said, it's a little wood lot, and so I'm gonna go back there. It's getting really deep in shadow now, since sunlight's not hitting it right now, at least here at the end of the day. Sunset just occurred about a few minutes ago, so light's running out real quick, but we can check it out. It's a place that I went to quite often, just check out, see if there's anything to photograph at the time, literally anything, not even just nature. And so it's a nice little kind of primitive campsite, essentially, that's behind there. So let's check it out here. Not really seeing too much photographic interest here. It's a lot more campsites than I remember. It's been a little while since I came in here, honestly. It's just interesting. Yeah. So nothing too crazy. Nothing too. There's photographic possibilities here. There isn't anything that really goes for anything that's nature or otherwise. There's just always something to seek out. It's just a matter of your vision, your unique creative vision, or someone else's to really perhaps find it here. But that's okay. I'm not gonna, like I said, force anything. So I think I'm gonna go back out here to the pond, and I'm thinking something with the clouds, with the last bit of light that's kind of just hitting right around them, and they're nice little deep little pastoral kind of blues and some really subtle pink orange hues that are just kind of in the clouds over here by where the sunset was positioned. Yeah, I don't know. I think the lights have came on, at least half of them over here at the pond. Yeah, so lights came on. This half for some reason hasn't. I don't know why, but here's the clouds I'm referring to. So I could potentially, with my small telephoto lens here, isolate them, and that might make for some interesting kind of photographic moments. Look at this pine tree that's really slanted. Yeah, poor thing. Yeah, let me see if I can get into here, and then I'm gonna see if I can take a photograph or two, and then we'll probably call it quits. Yeah, it's just a nice little short, simple little day walk or evening walk here, just to see how the light changes, you know, here at sunset. So let me see if I can pick apart some of these clouds and make some, you know, some nice simple isolated cloudscapes here, and then yeah, we'll see what else there is. But I think that's going to be it, besides the clouds, at least anything that I'm interested in photographing at the moment. And then yeah, and we'll say goodbye. Alrighty, so I got really slow shutter speeds for hand holding. It's almost kind of risking it, but you know, clouds are something that, at least in my opinion, don't need to be, you know, totally tack sharp, at least when you isolate them like this. And so I'm not too concerned about it. Stabilization on this is pretty good, and plus I was kneeling down, keeping my elbows situated kind of against my, I guess, rib cage or whatever, in my waistline, and just kind of photographing this really almost like stiff kind of motion there. So kept at 60th of a second, f5.6, and then since it's really getting, you know, increasingly darker and darker out, I had ISO 1250, and yeah, it worked out pretty well, I think, overall. So other than that, it's getting really dark. Birds, at least the robins, are still chirping. The light's fading pretty fast now. Alrighty, everyone, that's going to conclude the video here at Angels Pass Memorial Park, and as well as on location. So I really enjoyed my time, you know, here at the location here this evening, and then the entire series here. And I just want to give my express thank you to everyone that's been following me throughout this whole entire video series. If this is your first video, by the way, welcome. And it's kind of weird, kind of awkward, but yeah, I've been making these videos for quite some time now, and I'm not going to rule out the possibility of making some more in the future, as I kind of branch out here in Southwest Ohio and beyond throughout the Buckeye State, really. But for now, this is going to be pretty much the end of the road, and I've been really enjoying my time. Got some beautiful photographs to document that I have over time, and then as always, I'm going to still be out, you know, hiking, taking photos, and sharing them, you know, all my social media channels as well as here on this channel. But it's been a great time, and I really see you guys. Okay, and the other parrot over there is going to go off in a second here, but anyways, gotta make this quick since my battery's almost dead on this, and I didn't bring a charger, mobile charger. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this on location series. It's something that I just kind of had in mind to document. Gosh, they're noisy. To document all these different locations here in my area of Ohio, and to, you know, share them with people, so that way you can encourage them. Like I guess my tagline, my slogan is to get out there, and then, you know, to see beautiful things like, you know, the wildlife, the flowers, flora, fauna, waterfalls, beautiful sunrises, sunsets, to learn more about ecological stuff and just nature in general, and just it's simply not too much, just simply to appreciate it really for what it is. That was always my goal, and it always pretty much will be for prospective viewers here. So all right, for the last time, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Angels Pass Memorial Park, and then as always, make sure to get out there. Thank you so much for watching.